Come right out, hit Garcon on the wide receiver screen. That's just been so effective that whole year. Next play, an easy outside zone and an excellent lane set up for Morris for an easy 9 yards. I didn't really like this weak side zone read, but I understand that we had to keep the Legion of Boom defense guessing because they specialize in collapsing on the ball that year, and we had to establish RG3 as a legitimate threat to run and keep the secondary guessing, but it just puts more pressure on his leg, and that's something we did not need at the time. This was our greatest formation this year along with our pro, simply because so much could come from it. The options were limitless, but most effective when simplified, and Kyle Shanahan was pretty reasonable with that, I can't lie. But the story of this game is RG3's legs. As you can see here, he did not hold all his weight on his back foot as long as possible. He stepped to the side instead of forward because that leg was in pain. First and 10, we go into one of our more beautiful toss plays to Alfred Morris, giving him so many lanes and lines of sight, and he was good at judgment and quick. He was quick enough. Let's just say he was quick enough. At first, I thought he would beat Jamal Lewis, but he was never really quick enough to beat Jamal Lewis. So he never finished the plays like Jalen would with some of the sharpness and cuts and the things that he did. Yeah, it was different. But everything was lined up perfectly here for us. This was supposed to be a touchdown. Alfred Morris on the second level was guaranteed to go down, though. The next play was beautifully designed slant that was botched by poor mechanics and over-relying on arm strength due to the injury. The next play, RG3 zips a laser into Evan Royster for a touchdown. RG3 was always deadly accurate from mid-range, and he had no issues with his mechanics when the ball was going at least 15 or less yards. First play of the Seahawks opening drive, they tried to catch us loafing and threw a bomb. Josh Wilson was all over it because we study film over here. Next play, we get great interior pressure, causing Russell Wilson to scramble around and eventually get sacked. After the punt, RG3 continues to do the things that we hate him for. Doing anything to extend the play, trying to make something out of nothing, and in the condition that his leg was in, I wish he had a lot more self-awareness for the fact that his competitive nature can get him hurt out here. And considering we know how this plays out, this is hard to watch. Next play, more consistent running from Alfred Morris. Wonderful toss play, beautiful misdirection for a positive net gain. Next play, a couple good things happen. First, RG3 stands tall in the pocket and delivers a strike to Santana Moss. And secondly, an older 33 veteran, Santana Moss, still running crispy routes on these young boys. RG3 trusted his mechanics in this play, and once again, this deadly laser accuracy from these ranges. Next play, RG3 strikes his thumb on Silverback helmet, causing the ball to sail a little low. Next play, I think Kyle Shanahan wanted to show the Seahawks that RG3 legs was good more than he really wanted this first. The conditions they were putting him under, I do not understand. Next play, more good running from Alfred Morris. Solid 6 to 8 yard gains is all he was good for, but there was more than enough. Next play, RG3 looks really good on this play action, simple delivery. He literally was play by play versus looking good and looking bad. Next play on first and goal, I truly don't understand why we didn't run the ball. Not only did this play result in not a touchdown, but this is where RG3 was publicly injured and re-aggravated his leg. Up until this point, you might not have known he was hurt, but we knew because we broke it down. But this is now he's hurt, and this is the turning point in the game.
You see the limp,
and this is never a good sign when you're watching a live game for them to be showing your backup quarterback. But the next play, RG3 shows much composure, just the dog and warrior that he is.
Quick setup and throw, touchdown Paulson.
And again, RG3 takes 2 unnecessary hits from there and then from here, and neither one was flags, but more hits on his body. But anyway, he did deliver the play. Once again, his mechanics did not have to be straight from these ranges. He's laser accurate. The next Seahawks possession was a Russell Wilson show. This was rookie Russell Wilson, the version of him that could have been a running back. But we managed to hold him to just a field goal. And during the commercial break, RG3 goes in the back to hit the juice, and you can immediately see the effects from it. The next play was his best drop back of the game. He puts all his weight on his back foot and steps up with so much confidence. He didn't deliver the throw. The play resulted in a holding, so this fumble never counted. But I'm a little upset he missed Garcon because he never looked in that direction. But his leg looked it back for that few little moments. That's how I know the shot worked. A few plays later, the shot has clearly worn off as RG3 delivers one of his worst, most flat, bare knuckle balls he can throw right into the dirt for 4th down. Next possession, the Seahawks get extremely lucky as Russell Wilson fumbles the ball during the read option and Marshawn Lynch makes an amazing, I would say, game-saving play. If we get that ball, I think we win. Next play, Russell Wilson does Russell Wilson things and delivers a beautiful strike with excellent mechanics to get his team into the red zone to set up a potential touchdown. Next possession, the mechanics really showed here. I mean, he did not get enough power because he did not step forward, and this ball was sailed underthrown and intercepted by Earl Thomas. I don't think this is an injury mechanical failure. Look at his left leg bounce twice towards his left when it should just twist once. This isn't an injury mechanical failure. This is simply rushing and trusting. He's rushing his throws and he's trusting his arm way too much. This has nothing to do with the injury. Aaron Rodgers was sacked in the game against the Bears, and he had to be carted off. They said he was out for the game, and he could not put pressure on his left leg. Note, the opposite leg RG3 is suffering from, and arguably the more important leg for a quarterback. He later returned and threw a bomb for about 45 yards, which is actually equivalent to the same throw RG3 threw. But the difference here is, did you see his left foot? It always steps up, and he twisted it. He didn't just bounce it. Look where the pressure is on his foot. It is all on his back foot. This is perfect technique. Next possession, Russell Wilson throws a dart, but it's dropped. Great defense by Perry Riley. Russell Wilson continues to gain chippy yardages and just starts to eat us up, throwing hot darts right across the middle all the time. Doug Baldwin, just calm in the pocket, makes a great move, continues to be pushing. From there, the running game starts to chip away, but we were holding Marshawn Lynch very, very effectively. From there, Russell Wilson throws a nice pass, and he trucks Reed Dowdy just because he dropped it. That should be a flag. Next play, Marshawn Lynch. We got the Iron Man making a great tackle, splitting between two to get to that. That's the Iron Man Hall of Famer. And again, we forced this offense, which was so explosive this year, to settle for another field goal. After the half, Marshawn Lynch eventually breaks one. He was due for one. We stopped him well in the first half, but he was due for this one. Russell Wilson then throws a strike to Golden Tate. More Marshawn Lynch doing what he do. More good running from Marshawn Lynch. He gets stopped on the one, which ends up being so critical because the very next play he fumbles. And when he fumbled, I just knew this game was ours. After the turnover, I don't need mechanics when I'm throwing short, delivers a strike to Santana Moss for the first down. And after a few runs and an incomplete wide receiver screen, we punt. Next play, Russell scrambles out and finds a target. Next play, Reed Dowdy comes up huge on a safety spot blitz for the sack. Next play, Russell Wilson scrambles for 30 yards and misses a wide open touchdown. Next play, Reed Dowdy again. Next play, we catch a break on an overthrow fade. Next play, Josh Wilson sneaks a corner blitz and gets the sack, forcing a punt. Next play, mechanically challenged, throws a dart, but it is dropped by Joshua Morgan. Next possession, Reed Dowdy on 3rd and 2 makes another miraculous MVP level play on Russell Wilson to get him down before he threw that ball. Next possession, Dumb and Idiot continue to call read options in an attempt to get RG3 hurt. He was literally crying for help, and I am so sorry. After that unsuccessful attempt with RG3's life, he throws a pretty good ball, but just slightly too high. Next play, RG3 is back in his comfortable ranges, throwing a perfect ball for catch and run, and it is dropped by Hankerson bum-ass. Next possession, Russell Wilson hits Golden Tate, yada yada yada. We know how this ends. They put together a pretty decent drive. Next possession, RG3 holds the ball extremely too long, did not continue his rollout. He chose to stop for some ridiculous reason, and he ends up sacked. One of the worst plays that could happen. And then this play subsequently follows the next worst play that happened. RG3 re-aggravates the leg and cannot continue in the game. RG3 was a dog, man. He truly was. I think his coaching staff deserves an F for the situations they put him in, and I think he deserves a C because he made some good plays and put us in great position, but his inability to understand situational awareness, like getting rid of the ball when necessary, or his inability to always have proper mechanics no matter the throw, was his complete downfall. His over-reliance on his arm talent was ultimately his demise. After the turnover, they make it. Kirk Cousins comes in and he actually doesn't play too bad. At this point, no one agreed we were going to win, but it's good to see somebody go back there and just sling the ball with proper technique.
Well, Kirk Cousins did a nice job just keeping that play alive. There actually was enough blockers in. They brought pressure.
4th and 14, and Kirk Cousins gets pressured, throws into the dirt, and that's the ball game. Also, I finally watched Arcane, and it was really good. Of course, the action will always kind of suck to me because action movies is my least favorite movie, and I especially hate female fighting in television. And honestly, I think it's because number one, women don't really possess the same frame of build for them to be doing the shit they be having them do out there. Like her arms will certainly not be able to manipulate these metal ejectable fists in the way that she's doing it. Like I don't really see where the muscle is on her body to do this. You need the mass to do that. I don't know. And number two, the main reason I hate action is because shit like this, as soon as the bad guy get the motherfucker in position where she absolutely is dead, this nigga's on fucking steroids. Her head is popped off. But of course, he just throws her. But anyway, other than that, I watch for the story, and boy, did it deliver. I love Silco and Violet so much, I almost cried. I mean, almost. Next, I watched the first season of Stranger Things, and I may not continue to the next season. I don't think it's for me. I know it's a critically acclaimed award-winning show, but the best way I can describe why I won't continue is this scene right here. He hears a noise, runs to the door. It's his mom pulling in the driveway. He immediately grabs the girl, run downstairs so she won't see him, and she's already opening the door with a toddler and groceries. Yeah, this is not for me. I have a daughter. This is impossible. Moving on. I also listened to Wayne and Rich the Kid joint album called Trust Fund Babies, and it was pretty trash, but Wayne is still pretty good, messing around with his food, just having fun.
Pocket full of mozzarella, full of Swiss cheese. Could've put up on a jet, we did the jet skis.
What, Wayne? This nigga really don't be remembering his rhymes, bruh. Even doing the goddamn video shoot, bruh.
Pocket full of mozzarella, full of Swiss cheese. Could've put up on a jet, we did the jet skis.
Full of mozzarella, full of Swiss cheese. Full, Wayne. The word is full.
Pocket full of mozzarella, full of Swiss cheese. Could've put up on a jet, we did the jet skis.
Jet skis, Wayne. Jet skis, man.
Pocket full of mozzarella, full of Swiss cheese. Could've put up on a jet, we did the jet skis.
At least he could disguise it by looking down and playing with the mozzie sticks. But I never understand how a video is shot by a director who decides to shoot one shot, one pass style of artistry, and the artist clearly doesn't remember the words.
That's when they racist to straight harassers as they evacuate. Imagine wearing a mask and where can't imagine making it past the day. Hell is hated, heavens are elevated, melanated masquerade.
Usually they just do quick cuts to make up for this, but when they keep the version that they shot, it really makes me wonder why. And I think it's a little disrespectful for the feature to not fucking know the shit when it's time to. But that's another topic.
The slave master hate, exactly when they emasculate. Congratulate gay or master hate. Ask the black lady to shake. They fascinated, they masturbate. The black parade straight exacerbates.
But there's nothing salvageable in this album, and I would not recommend it. Then I watched Marlon Wayne's The Headliners on HBO Max, and I don't know why I clicked on this. I also watched Love on the Spectrum on Netflix, and it was also very good. And I will admit to crying on this one. Oh, also, I won $1,000 blackout tournament. Shouts out to my nigga Julian. I leave you with the highlights of that match.